Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paul, and the pastor at local church here, New Life, and knew Donnie a little bit, know Cecile much better, and several of you I recognize and have seen. And our hearts go out to you as a family and are just aching with you as you're here today. I wanted to read a couple scriptures for today. Sometimes we feel things and we don't know how to express it, and there are people who express it for us. So I wanted to read from Psalm 13 that might capture a little bit of some of what we're experiencing today. This is what the psalmist writes. How long, God, will you forget me? Forever? How long will you look the other way? How long must I struggle with anguish in my soul, with sorrow in my heart every day? How long will my enemy have the upper hand? Turn and answer me, God. Restore the sparkle to my eyes, or I will die. Don't let my enemies gloat, saying, we've defeated him. Don't let them rejoice at my downfall. But God, I trust in your unfailing love. I rejoice because you've rescued me. I will sing to the Lord because he's good to me. And sometimes it just feels like we want to cry out and say, God, where are you in this? And you're not alone when you're feeling that way. Even these people wrestled with that. And then I want to follow that just with some words that Jesus said to people who were going through the difficulties of life. And he said, come to me if you're weary and you carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I'm humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. Because my way of life is easy to bear, and the burden that I give you is light. Just like to pray for you right now. God, this family is hurting, and they are full of questions and pain, and they're full of love for one another. And you are here in this moment, hearing all of that, sharing that. And I pray that somehow, in the midst of all of this, you would bring comfort and peace and healing and love for each other, grace for one another, and some way of seeing ahead and having a hope of brighter days ahead. But I pray that you'd allow this time today as the opportunity for us to say goodbye and to begin that grieving process and healing together. Amen. I had the privilege of sitting down with Jamie Lynn earlier this week, and we kind of talked through some of the things that might happen here today. And I got to tell you, Don had a great taste in music. So some of what we're doing today is just enjoying some of the songs that he enjoyed. So we're going to play a song for you now, and then Jamie Lynn's going to come up after that song, and she's going to share some remembrances about Donald. But the song is Fleetwood Mac, Songbird.
For you put this up?
Yeah.
I'm going to start by reading something that my V had asked to be read. Hi, everyone. My name is Beatrice. I'm sorry I could not be in attendance with you all. My family, but as you know, Donald was my younger brother, but the oldest of the three I did have. And I have very, very fond memories of him while growing up. I have a memory I'd like to share. Besides him calling me a brat and beach ball, which annoyed me to the ends of earth. But it is funny to think of how he would make me laugh over that, even though he annoyed me when I was younger. Even throughout adulthood, did he continue those nicknames, so it kind of stuck with me. Even on the damn phone, and I would laugh, but that's Don for you. The memory I have that stands out the most, that I will hold dear, is him spraying me with the hose when we were kids, drenching me thinking it was funny as kids, but really I wished I could turn the hose on him. Boy, he would be wet, and I mean soaked. For all the times he just wiped it, and out of nowhere he sprayed me like he saw me coming, and then he would think, aha, here she comes. I'm here with you all, watching from afar with my husband Dave and my daughter Jody Lynn. I will hold dear each and every memory I do have with my brother close. I love you, my Donald Duck. Ha, I said it. I got you back. I will forever love you, brother. I am sorry this happened to you. I truly always will love you till I'm not here. Love your beach ball forever. To everyone at home joining us today, on behalf of my family, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you all. For our family not able to be here today, you are not forgotten and you are loved. Bea and Dave, Jody and Terry, Francis, Jesse, James, and Brianna. Today, we all are forced together, not because life has taken its natural course, but because of a failed system that has caused the greatest injustice to our family. I am supposed to stand here today and put on my bravest face and be the rock that you all think I am. Though I am not. In fact, for the first time in my entire life, this woman of many words truly has none. So if I am all over the map, please forgive me. I, myself, my entire life, have been faced with many difficult, unfair, cruel situations, and there is nothing that will ever compare to this absolutely devastating tragedy that has brought us here today. March 3rd, 1956, the firstborn son of Beatrice and Patty came wailing into the world. I imagine it was a huge entrance into the world because it's a huge impact he left on it. Growing up, despite the challenges he faced, no matter what, he was loved. He loved his family too, his brothers and his sisters. They did typical kid stuff. They played outside in the dirt. They went swimming at the point, played hide and go seek till the street lights came on. Uncle Don was a practical joker, just like his brothers. Once they put a cherry bomb in Grandma's cigarette. Truth be told, I wouldn't have wanted to be them when it blew. And once my grandmother noticed that the gum she kept in her purse kept going missing. So she decided to replace her gum with laxatives. Well, not long after sending her kids off to school, my mother and Uncle Don came running home, nearly pooping themselves. And of course, a few years later, Uncle Don would begin high school, where he met the love of his life and the mother of his children, Linda. As he grew into that relationship, he grew into obsessions as well. Obsessions of mighty men. My brothers and I endured these obsessions, the harmonica, and Bruce Lee. Oh, oops. Bruce Lee, Samson, Rambo, Conan, Arnold, James Bond, and mostly Don Claude Van Damme. And I believe he thought he was all a combination of all of them, especially Don Claude Van Damme. As that's what he called himself.
And other people call him.
When I was 10, my dad died. And I will never forget that night as long as I live. Admittedly, it's still one of the worst heartbreaks I have had to face, and that my brothers have had to face. But my uncle, my giant uncle, scooped me and my brothers up in his arms, and he loved the shit out of us. He loved us as if we were his own babies. And at the time, he didn't have any. Every single weekend, my brother, Owen, and Taylor spent there at his house. And me, every other. As I also spent most of my weekends with my grandparents. My uncle loved us so, so much. And the entire world knew it. When we had no dad, he was the one who stepped up. And no matter what, he never stepped out. My uncle has many loves. History, weightlifting, and movies were up at the very top until the birth of his very first child and daughter was born, Darian. And the magical part of her is her birthday. My uncle was obsessed about the Titanic, and the day it sunk, only years later, Darian came into the world. And next came Brianna, and then came Connor, and finally, his family and his life was complete. But as we all know, sometimes life has other plans. And eventually, Linda and Dawn parted ways. And sometime after that, Linda decided it was time for a change and moved her family out of province. Although it broke his heart, knowing he may never see his kids again, he held on to hope and prayed every day that this would not be the case. And then the day came when Darian reached out to me, and I met her and took her to see her dad. That, I believe, was one of the greatest days of his entire life. Although he only got to see his other children through pics that we all showed off, I know he truly wanted to meet them all, and if not for this tragedy, he would have. And as Connor was planning to meet him, and he was excited to learn that there was a chance to see Connor. and prayed that Brianna eventually would come to that point too. Even though their relationship wasn't what it should have been, he loved all his children, and everyone knew that without a doubt. He bragged, and he cried, and he loved, and he never left anyone doubting that. It is said that Don is a staple in this community. He always had a smile, is a man of many stories. He would give you the shirt off his back. Many say he's caring and passionate about what he believes in, and he believes in God. He is a man of God. For this is the reason he does not want us to hate or be mad or place blame on one another, but use his death as a pillar to stand together against the real reason we are here today. Uncle Don has had his struggles. We have all had our own struggles. And we have gotten through them all. And we will get through this with our heads held high, because this will not break us. Every person in this room either has Caines blood coursing through our veins or has had to deal with us that do. And I know our strength. So we will do exactly what Uncle Don expects of us. We will hold our heads high. We will walk with poise and grace. And we will not allow this to break us. But instead, we will love each other harder than we ever have before. Because the battle of what is to come on... the battle of what to come is on the horizon. And we will be ready to show the world what this family is made of. Uncle Don, you are one of the greatest men I have ever had the pleasure of knowing. We love you. Rest easy. None of this is in vain, and you will be honored forever and always.
Just want to play another song that was meaningful for Don and I think appropriate for today. I was hoping I could just share a story with you. And I should have probably told you that we just had a little bit after that song, so my bad. I grew up in the country, down in Niagara, on a farm, a small farm, and everybody participated in what was happening. And every year it would come around, and as a little boy, we'd all go out to the hayfield, and we'd have to take the old, everybody does big bales now, but there used to be a time when there was little bales, and you had to lift them and put them and stack them on the wagon. And as a little boy, I remember trying to pick up these hay bales and lift them to put them on the wagon, and it was just covering me, like with short sleeve shirts, I was just getting covered in cuts. And because I wasn't big enough, the hay bales were too heavy for me to carry. And I remember year on year, my dad would come over, and as I'm trying to carry this hay bale, he would reach over me and he would pick that bale up and help me put the bale on the wagon. And it took quite a time before I was big enough to actually do that by myself. And then I got bigger and stronger. But for a lot of my growing up years as a little boy, it took my dad to help me lift those hay bales. And the reality is in life, there are some burdens that are too heavy for us to carry. And they're like those, trying to be a little kid to carry a hay bale. And what you guys are experiencing right now is a burden that you were never meant to carry. And it's not fair, and it's not right. And Jamie, Lynn, thank you for how you said what you said. That we're going to get through this together, and we're going to help each other, and we're going to hold our heads high. But I also want you to know that right now, you don't have to do that. Today's a day where you can cry, and you can let that out, and you can just sit with each other and talk or not talk. Because this is a kind of burden that you weren't meant to carry. And that passage I read for you, whatever your assumption is of God, mine is just simply, if you want to know who God is, then you look at Jesus and forget the conceptions you have of what God is like, because we know him in Jesus. And what I see in Jesus is a God who came to people who were hurting, and instead of telling them to keep a stiff upper lip and have it all together, Jesus said this to them: if you're tired and you're worn out and you're carrying burdens that you can't handle because they're too heavy for you, then let me do that for you. Let me give you rest. And it's not a demand. There's nothing forceful about it. He's just saying, if you find yourself in a place where you can't carry this, then come to me and let me carry that for you. And it's just an invitation. It's not an assumption. It's just him making a concession and saying for everybody, sometimes life is crazy. One moment, everything is fine, and the next moment, all hell breaks loose. One moment, you are doing okay, and then the next moment, you are crushed under a huge rock of pain and confusion and exhaustion. And he's not making an assumption. It's an acknowledgement that sometimes life kicks the shit out of you, and you're left baffled. And it's in those times that Jesus says, listen, let me carry that for you. Let me help you with that. And only Jesus can do what only Jesus can do. And in some ways, the politicians, can't help you right now. The educational people aren't going to help you right now. The doctors, the nurses, the lawyers, they're not going to help you right now. The church isn't necessarily going to help you right now. I can't help you right now. But there are things that Jesus can do that only Jesus can do. And one of the things that he invites you to do, which I think he has said through you, Jamie Lynn, is to extend a lot of grace and love and forgiveness to each other right now. And apart from the pain and the grief that you're carrying, you're also going to be carrying anger and resentment and a difficulty in finding forgiveness. And those are also burdens that are too heavy for you to carry. Don't try to carry them by yourself. And he's just reminding you that there's a God who is gentle, who is humble, who wants you to have rest for your souls. And so I would encourage you, you know, if in this kind of a burden, let him carry this for you. You don't have to carry it alone. And wherever you're at, have a conversation with Jesus today and just tell him how you're feeling and what you need. And then see maybe what he does. I am so sorry that you're here like this. I do want you to know that there are a lot of people who are praying for you and who can't be here but are surrounding you, and those of you who are watching at home as well. And we're walking that journey with you. And so I simply want to pray just a closing prayer for you. And then I'm going to just encourage you to visit. Tell stories of memories you have of Don, because that's part of the grieving process. And share some of that time here before you have to go back out into the cold. Or go back out if you need, come back in and visit. The funeral home people, they'll stay as long as they need to. I don't work here, so I can say that for them. But share your stories, share your tears and hugs, and be together. Don't carry that burden alone. Father, in the midst of this pain, there's this sense of a profound love that people have for each other in the midst of pain and sadness. And I thank you for the gift of being able to be here with my friends here today. And I pray that in ways that only you can do, that you would bring comfort and peace and healing, and that you would make yourself real in this moment. Thank you that your love is way beyond anything we could ever fathom for Don, for the rest of the family. Thank you for being here. Amen. Donald was a big Supertramp fan, apparently. So talking with Jamie Lynn, we thought just as we're concluded here now and you can visit, we're going to play Supertramp, Take the Long Way Home.
Can I just say one thing? I'm
Briefly.
Don Taylor.
Yep.
It's not me. Okay, I had a whole speech wrote out. I don't get to say it tonight, but I want to just give one of my most favorite memories of Uncle Don. It's when I pushed Owen in the docks. And he learned how to swim.
Oh my gosh, that's how Jim Lynn taught me how to swim.
All right. Let's.
I didn't swim. I don't know if they can save me, so I guess this is passed down from Jim.
Well, Uncle Don didn't jump in and save him either. He had to learn how to swim real fast.
So let's play the song Supertramp.
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
sorry about that.
that's okay. This is your time now. We're gonna play the song Supertramp. You guys tell stories, and be together for this time. We're glad that you could be here today. And if any of you are local and you need someone to chat with, I'm always available. You can ask the funeral home; they will give you my number, and you can get in touch with me. But thank you for being here today. Let's play that song.
Okay, this works. Hi, I'm Darian. I was mentioned in Jamie Lynn's speech, and I thought it'd be appropriate if I shared a story dating back to the mid to late 90s. I was probably between 5, maybe 7 years old at most, and it was around that time when my mom started to figure out that I'm a bit of a weirdo. I had a lot of strange ideas, and that Dad would put up with it. He even put up with some of my most strangest ideas, like when I saw a frog run over on the road, I asked him, Dad, why don't you get your bike pump and just put some air into it so that it can go back to the lake? And then he had to find a way to explain the concept of death to me, which was foreign back then. Anyways, that was just part of one of my many strange things. Our strange interest was with the strange animals, or whatever other people found strange at the time. I was obsessed with frogs and seagulls and stuff like that. So every Sunday, or at least I think it was every Sunday or every other week, I'd go to McDonald's with him, and we'd go out to the back to go feed the ducks and hang out with the seagulls. And there was one point when I was just feeding French fries to the seagulls. One seagull came up to us and allowed both of us to pet it. And then I remember he said, do you understand how magical this is? And I just looked at him and was like, aren't all seagulls this friendly? And he said no. And I remember that seagull in particular because it was a brown speckled one that I thought was very cute. And I was pretty happy that it let both of us pet it until it just decided to fly off somewhere to go do seagull things. And as I grew up, I ended up coming at him with even more weird questions that he was unprepared for. But, he always would try to find an answer for me. I'd ask strange questions like, did the dinosaurs go to heaven? And he said, I don't know. He's like, I think that's up to God to decide. And it seemed on par for the type of... it seemed on par for the course, because as I've read the Bible more and more, even I don't have an answer for that question. That is all I have for today. Unfortunately, I am off script, so my thoughts are a little jumbled right now.
So that does conclude our time, and just encourage you to continue to meet and tell stories. So thank you for being here today. God bless.